Hello, Voyagers. Welcome to episode 18 of the Boss Talk TV series. I am so excited to share with you guys today. We are talking about business structures, how that applies to you in your creative business, what my attorney recommends, and honestly, what's the lowdown with all of these structures. There is so much legal mumbo jumbo that we talked about yesterday that kind of goes a little bit into today, but knowing what structure to register your business under is very important because one, it can either cost you a lot of money or save you a lot of money in the long run. It can save you a lot of time and headache at the end of the year when it comes to tax season. There's just a lot of pros and cons to all the different business structures. And I want to talk to you guys about the differences. If you are live, say hi. And if you're watching the replay, definitely let me know. I know a lot of you guys catch the replay and it's Friday. So let me know what you guys are up to this weekend. I know me personally, I am chilling. I was really hustling this week and I am feeling just super ready to just chill and get into just my flow zone and just have a relaxing weekend and get back into the hustle mode next week. But this weekend I am just chilling. I wrote out my little to-do list for next week and I'm like over it already. I'm going to teach legacy branding tonight. I have a session with my coach tonight and then I'm just like done. So I want to talk to you guys about business structures. The main reason why you want to really structure your business, one is because it's going to give you a basis for one, running your business. Again, you want to be treated as a business owner, as a professional. This is a professional step in registering your business and taking that next kind of leap of faith to make sure that you are doing the necessary things that you need to in order to make sure your business is a legit business. So that is one of the main things. It's one of the things that we put off and we put off and we put off. And it's just because we don't understand it. We don't know, necessarily, okay, what does this mean? What does this mean? So we just ignore it and we just put it off and we pretend that it doesn't, it doesn't relate to us. We're not making enough money yet. I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this, all the other bullshit things that we tell ourselves. In order to not have to take that next step just because we're scared and we don't know exactly what it means. So I want to take that fear away from you guys, give you guys the knowledge that you need in order to make a wise decision, plus give you the recommendation. From my professional opinion, I have probably structured over 180 companies I've helped structured. When I was working at my corporate job full time, this is what I did. I worked with nurses actually. So we helped train nurses in order to start their own businesses and become legal nurse consultants. So I handled all of their marketing, where I did like their logos, their letterheads, business cards, websites. I helped them with their business structures. I helped them, set up their LLCs if that's what they were structuring. I helped them find accountants, and that was my full-time job. So I have done a lot of these over the years. I have personally done myself. And I also learned all of this stuff with learning law and pre-law. So I want to give you guys all of my little tips and tricks, plus what I personally use in my business. And really the biggest reason why I have my business structured is for my tax deductions. As your business grows and the more money you start to make, you're going to want those deductions at the end of the year, which is tax season comes around and you hit that 6-figure income goal. You definitely want to make sure that you're taking advantage of every deduction that you can so that you don't have to give all your money back to the IRS. So, and that's what scares us. That's what keeps us from taking this next step, because they're like, oh my God, now I have to pay taxes. And you're like, oh, it's so fucking okay as long as you know what to pay and how to actually pay them. But if you don't know and you don't ever take the time to learn, then of course not. You're going to be fearful of it all of the time, and you're never going to take that next big step, which this is a huge step in your business. The day you register your business is the day that it is legit. I do not care. So many people are like, well, the day I start my business is the day, I get my domain name. And I'm like, no, yeah, that's great. Energetically, yes, that's when you started your business. But honestly, the time when you are serious is the moment that you put it in legal documentation that you are a business owner. This is the name of your company. This is what it does. That is when you're legit. That's when you are an official business owner. Until then, you have to work your way up to get those stripes and take that leap of faith to know that as soon as you structure your business, it's not a scary, daunting task. It is just as soon as you know what to structure it as, what the benefits are, what the pros are, what the cons are, you can make a wise, informed decision and just figure out what's going to be best for you. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys because I'm going to show you, I made this little PDF that I'm going to input into the freebie resource library to go along with this training in case there's anybody in the group. I know a lot of you guys hang out on the freebie resource library all the time. So I'm going to make it available there for you so that you can just get that one-page guide and kind of know what you need to get from there and get the information that you need. So give me 1 second. Let me share my screen. What are you guys up to this weekend? I know, like I said, I'm chilling. What are you guys doing? Let me know. Even if you're watching the replay, let me know. Okay, sweet. So you guys should be able to see, well, no, not yet. Now you're able to see my screen. There we go. Awesome. All right, perfect. And I'm just going to hope that Facebook can see this. You guys should be good to go. So just to give you guys a little breakdown of really the main 4 business structures, what they mean, the pros and cons to kind of both of them. And then again, I'm going to tell you what I recommend, what my attorney recommends, and what I've actually structured for all of my clients and the hundreds of businesses that we've put together. So sole proprietorship, this is the most common. It's the easiest to manage paperwork wise, but it's the worst in terms of protection. So let me tell you what that means. So in terms of easy to manage, in terms of paperwork, when you have an accountant, this is the least amount of paperwork required. It's the easiest to put together. It's the cheapest to combine, but it gives you the least protection in terms of legal and financial protection. So if you have a client and say you're, Tony Robbins, Oprah level, and you are still as a sole proprietorship, which they are not sole proprietorships. I'm just giving like an off example. But say you have a client, you're just a big influencer in your industry, and you have a client that comes to you and they are not happy with the, $30,000 package that you sold them, and they want to take you to court over that. So with a sole proprietorship, that client would be able to sue you for your personal assets along with your business assets. It does not, the courts see no difference between your bank account and the bank account of that business. So even though your business may have $0 in the bank and you have $1 million in the bank, they can come after you for what you're worth. I have seen people take children's college fund money. I have seen them repossess cars. I have seen them repossess houses when it comes to being sued and not being able to pay that debt, because when it comes to sole proprietorship, your business is you technically. So there is no differentiation between you as a business owner and your business. So again, it's the easiest. This is what a lot of lazy accountants will recommend. And I call them lazy accountants because it's easiest in terms of paperwork. It's less paperwork for them. It's less maintenance they have to do. It's less paperwork that they have to do on a quarterly basis. I know in Florida, you have to pay self-employment taxes every quarter, which is about like every March, every June, and then fall time, and then around Christmas time again, like right before, I want to say like December 1st or something like that. I don't even know, because again, my accountant tells me all this stuff. So that, again, lazy accountants will tell you, go with a sole proprietorship. It's the best, but it is the worst in terms of protection. So if you are going to take this next step and you're going to invest in setting up a sole proprietorship, honestly, just save your money. It's not even worth it. A sole proprietorship is pretty much what you are by just doing business as your name. So if I do business as Karina Ramos, I'm technically a sole proprietorship. I don't have a business name, kind of covering that up at all or anything like that. If you were to sue me, you'd be suing me personally, not my company, because you're doing business with me personally. So when you send invoices as your company name, that's considered your company name, but that's only if you have a business structure in place. If not, you're just technically considered a sole proprietorship. So that's a little scary right now if you're doing business and you're not registered at all. The country, the United States technically considers you a sole proprietorship. So if you were going to be sued, if the IRS was going to come after you or anything like that, you are fully personally responsible for all of the company's financials and legal obligations, which is really fucking scary, especially if you have children, if you have, I don't know if you have inheritance money or anything like that, and you want to make sure that that is protected. You want to definitely stay away from sole proprietorship. So I won't get too much into that because I don't even recommend it. And right now, if you are not registered, if you have no registration in place, you are considered a sole proprietorship. So, that's not good either. And that's another big reason why you definitely want to set up your structure. Again, the United States gives you the choice. If you are based in the US, gives you the choice of the structure that you choose for your business. You might as well choose and don't let them choose for you because it just screws you in the long run. Partnership. So 2 or more people that decide to share the profits and losses and legalities of a business. So that's pretty straightforward. Another one that I don't recommend just because partnerships can go sour. And again, I'm not all about the daisies and the butterflies that go into business. Sometimes shit happens and sometimes people pull apart. And that gets really hairy when it comes to the legal side of a business, especially if your company is grossing multiple 6 figures or your company is grossing pretty much any type of income. It gets really hairy when it comes to actually separating profits, losses, and legal parts of a business. So that's another type of business structure. But again, I just recommend going solo dolo into business unless it's your husband or anything like that. But I wouldn't, it gets hairy with partnerships, and make sure you always have a attorney go over your partnership agreement, separate attorneys. If you are going to go into business with someone, absolutely hire an attorney if you're going to do a partnership, just because you want to make sure you have everything very cleared, very detailed. And again, no hairy business or you're going to get, confused, anybody's confused, or if somebody decides to step away from the business or relationship goes sour, everything is outlined very, very clear. So the third one is going to be a corporation. So it's a legal entity completely separate from its owners to conduct business. And as a partnership too, you definitely are still responsible. So a partnership is just 2 or more people combining a sole proprietorship pretty much. Corporation is a completely separate legal entity from its owners to conduct business. So when you register your business as a corporation, it's completely separate from you. It has its own EIN number, which an EIN number is like a social security number for your business, which you guys will kind of learn more about as you start going through this process. But corporation, it's completely separate from that side of your personal assets. And then it's considered almost like a person. So it's held completely legally and financially responsible on its own. There's also C Corps and S Corps, which those are just different structures of a corporation. That's when you're getting more into the IRS kind of mumbo jumbo that I don't really understand myself. And I have an accountant that I talk with about this kind of stuff. And this is what I definitely suggest. If you're going to go this route, definitely consult with your accountant first. I suggest consulting with accountant for any of these structures, but as long as you're informed and you know that, you don't have one of those lazy, accountants that's going to tell you to just go with sole proprietorship because it's easy. I want you guys to be super informed so that you make the wisest decision based off of the state that you live in, the amount of income that you plan on bringing in, and the type of business that you actually want to run in the future. And again, we're talking about longevity. So, which we don't fucking get into business. You're not putting all this work into your business right now not to think of your business long term. So there's that. So S Corp, C Corp, if you're going to go that route, hire an accountant. And honestly, the one that we highly suggest, the one that I'm structured as, the one that we suggest all of our clients to be structured as, is a limited liability company. It's technically kind of new. It's like a hybrid between a partnership and a corporation. Gives you all of the benefits of a corporation where you are it's a completely separate entity, but you have the option of adding in different partners, multiple partners, different levels of structure. And it just gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of tax deductions and payments. The IRS actually really favors limited liabilities because it's easier for them to paperwork wise to structure and manage. But there is some overhead and all of that goes into having a limited liability company. I'm not saying it's super crazy complicated at all. But if you already have an accountant that's doing your family taxes, it's the same to have them, jump on board for your business and kind of take a look take things over, I really suggest like having QuickBooks or something like that in place that can help you kind of keep track of your payment wise. If you're just afraid of taxes and all of that, QuickBooks is really good for that. But make sure that you have your structure in place so that at the end of the year, when tax season does come up, you are getting the most bang for your buck and in terms of the investments that you've made in your business. And then again, LLC just gives you the option to take advantage of both the benefits of a partnership and the benefits of a corporation in terms of tax benefits and the deductions. But it still gives the owners complete legal and financial protection because it's a complete separate entity. So those are the four main structures. Again, there's some substructures within these, but these are the four main ones, with us highly suggesting a limited liability company in terms of protection. I know in the state of Florida, a limited liability company is like $125. If you live in the state of California, that's where I think it's just they have like a tax lenient where it's like $800 an annual fee for owning a business in California, which is the only state that actually mandates that, on top of the like $75 fee to register your business. So it's only like $75 to register your limited liability company in the state of California, but they have a mandatory tax fee of $800, which is like an annual business fee that they have. And maybe New York might have that too. I don't think so though. I just think New York has like a ridiculous tax on business owners, which is like 30%, I think, that they have to pay back. I know Florida is 15, but this is where talking with an accountant and kind of letting them know where you see your business going, making sure you're working with an accountant that is very knowledgeable on creative businesses. I've worked with a lot of accountants who don't understand the structure of my business. They're like, what the hell are you selling? Like, what do you do? Like, they just don't get it. Especially when it comes to like my consulting packages and stuff like that, or like my retreats or my live events, they just don't get it. So I like to personally work with accountants who have worked with creatives in the past and who understand kind of my vision as to where I see my business going, where I see it in the next couple of years, and in terms of what type of investments I'm going to make that year. So whether I'm getting a new office space, I'm getting furniture for my office, all of those are deductions and investments in your business. Hiring a coach, that's a service, which a lot of people, and this goes back to, this is totally separate and off topic, but we can get so fearful of investing and so fearful in investing in software and the things that we need in order to grow our business because we don't think that financially we can kind of take that on at the moment. But you guys don't understand that when you have your business structured properly, it's considered a deduction, and you kind of break even at the end of the year when it comes to that. It's almost like you're being rewarded for investing into your business. And that's how I see all my business investments. And anytime I hire a coach, anytime I go on a retreat or I go to a conference, it's an investment because I'm getting that deduction back as a business expense. Anytime I travel, anytime I go out to eat with clients, and it's just, living my fucking life, doing my thing, running my business from anywhere. And this is the fun part of it, that when your business is set up properly, I'm not fearful that the IRS is going to come after me every month, because I am very knowledgeable as to where my business is, where my sales are, and all the kind of ins and outs of your business. And that makes you feel really confident. And again, makes you feel like a true business owner, because you're on top of your shit and you know what's going on. So that is that. If you guys have any questions, definitely let me know. Again, it's pretty straightforward. I'm going to go ahead and add this PDF into the resource library so you guys can always go back and watch this training, well, kind of slash training, kind of slash boss talk. Hey, Stephanie. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm getting ready to go teach my Legacy Branding girls, which we are opening Legacy Branding back up in the next couple of weeks. I'll be opening it up. So if you guys are really interested in that, I suggest getting on the wait list. I sold out the last round pretty quickly after announcing it for my January round, and I had 30 girls in that round, and I'll be doing the same for this round. So if you're interested in getting into Legacy Branding and up-leveling the fuck out of your business, join me there. But this is week 5 of my January round that I'm going to go teach. But if you guys have any questions on business structures, let me know. I'm going to go ahead and post the PDF that I made for you guys. I'll post that in the resource library, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.